everyone. I'm Hope, and I thought it might be kind of fun to make a little space online where we can just hang out for a bit, play some games together, and talk about some of the weirdest stories people share on the internet. So, today I'm jumping into Fortnite, and I'll be spending way too much time trying to hunt down some rare sprites. And while I do that, I found a few stories that honestly made me stop for a second and think, okay, what is wrong with people? And trust me, like, this first one gets frustrating pretty fast. So get comfortable and let's start. All right, so this first story is about a wedding. It's called Am I the Asshole for Not Attending My Son's Wedding? I instead spent the evening with his ex-wife. Let's get into it. So this dad's son graduates high school and pretty quickly moves 3 states away for college. And almost right away, he meets a girl, falls hard, and by 19, he's married. The dad tried to talk him into waiting, said he wasn't ready, but you know how that goes. Neither of them finished their degree. They both just pack up and move back to his hometown instead. Fast forward a bit, and at 20 years old, they welcome their first baby, a little girl. And it doesn't stop there. About a year and a half later, baby number 2 arrives, a boy this time. Now, here's where it gets interesting. After that first baby, the parents start noticing something's off with their daughter-in-law. At first, they chalk it up to postpartum depression. Makes sense, new mom, exhausted. But then baby number 2 shows up, and not long after, the couple separates. That's when the daughter-in-law starts opening up to her in-laws. Now, the dad's very clear, he knows there's 2 sides to every story, but he also knows his son. And what he's hearing, he believes it. So he sits his son down more than once, trying to get through to him. And every single time, the son deflects. Won't own any of it. And okay, that's red flag number 1 right there. They try counseling. For a year, things look fine on the surface. Then the daughter-in-law files for divorce, and 3 days later, the son's already on Facebook announcing a new girlfriend. A month after that, engaged. A month. I'm going to let that sit for a second. Here's something the son never found out. Before all this, he'd basically pushed his wife into being a full-time stay-at-home mom the moment their first kid was born. She had no family here, no friends of her own. The only people she knew in that town were her in-laws. So when the marriage fell apart, she had nowhere to go, 2 little kids in tow, and quietly, without telling their son, the parents stepped in, helped her out financially, got her set up in her own place. Then the wedding invitation shows up. Before the divorce is even finalized, the dad tells his son straight up he's not coming and he's not giving his blessing. His own mother tries to smooth things over, promises she'll get him there anyway. He doesn't budge. Wedding day comes. He doesn't show. Neither does his daughter. His wife takes the grandkids, gets them dressed, goes without him. And him and his daughter, they spend that whole evening with the ex-daughter-in-law instead, because he couldn't stand the thought of her sitting home alone while her own kids were off at their dad's wedding. She's stunned when she finds out. They take her out, try to get her mind off everything. At some point, his daughter jokes they can just drop the in-law thing and be sisters now. And apparently, she just about cried right there. Next morning, the son calls, tells his dad what a horrible father he's been. A few days later, he finds out where his dad actually was that night, calls it the ultimate betrayal, says from now on, if his dad and his sister want any relationship with him at all, it's going to be entirely on his terms. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think that's betrayal. That's just choosing not to abandon someone who needed you. His ex-wife had nobody else in that town, and it sounds like she needed that support way more than he needed you at his wedding. Anyway, let me know in the comments, NTA, right? Let's keep hunting for sprites. All right, so this next one honestly made me feel bad for literally everyone involved. Well, almost everyone. You'll see what I mean. So this guy is a 37-year-old dad raising 3 daughters by himself. They're 8, 10, and 12 years old. Their mother left the family a few years earlier when the youngest was only 4 after leaving him for another man. She still stays in contact with the kids and technically helps out financially, but that's about it. A few weeks later, while doing laundry, he notices red spots on his oldest daughter's underwear. So naturally, he asks her about it, and she immediately starts crying. She tells him she tried calling her mom, but her mom never answered, and because she didn't know what to do, she had literally been stuffing toilet paper into her underwear, hoping that would somehow work. So instead of panicking, he calmly explains that periods are completely normal and absolutely nothing to feel embarrassed about. Then he starts researching online, finding helpful resources so they can learn about everything together. After that, he takes his daughter to the store so she can choose the products she feels most comfortable using. Apparently, she picked Playtech Sport because she does gymnastics. Okay. Can we just appreciate for a second? This man immediately went into full dad mode. I kind of love that. But then he decides, you know what? I should probably prepare my other two daughters too, just in case. So he sits down with all of them and turns the whole thing into a learning night. His oldest daughter actually volunteers to help explain things to her younger sisters, and they spend the whole evening learning together. He even says he learned what a menstrual cup is, and apparently learned they're better for the environment, too. Okay, I'm sorry, but this is actually really wholesome. Like, this guy is genuinely trying. The dad explains that wasn't really an option. His own mother has dementia, and apparently his ex's family doesn't exactly like him either. But she keeps going. She tells him he was being immature, and that he should have just handled things differently. At this point, he completely loses his patience. He shouts back, saying maybe if she wasn't such a deadbeat parent and actually answered her phone once in a while, she could have handled the situation herself. Then years of frustration start coming out. He brings up everything. The fact that she hasn't shown up to a single soccer game, not one piano recital, not one gymnastics event in over 2 years. He says every time the girls come home after visiting her, they disappear into their rooms for hours, only to come out asking heartbreaking questions like, why does mom love her new husband more than us? What did we do to make her leave? But then, somehow, she makes things even worse. She tells him maybe he should just tell the girls it's his fault because apparently he couldn't satisfy her. Oh my God. Seriously? Who says that, especially knowing the kids could hear? At that point, he completely loses his temper, and finally he shouts something back at her. Let's just say it definitely wasn't polite, and that's when she smirks and points behind him. His two youngest are standing in the doorway, crying. He says he never shouts, so he knows exactly how much that scared them. His oldest storms in, starts yelling at her mom, defending her dad, which he appreciates, but it's not a fight he wants his 12-year-old fighting for him. The ex just hangs up before anything gets resolved. And since then, let's just say there's been unlimited ice cream, unlimited video games, and a full Twilight movie marathon because the guy feels terrible. Okay, honestly, watching all the Twilight movies might be the biggest sacrifice in this whole story. But seriously, this guy did exactly what a good parent should do. His daughter needed help, and he stepped up immediately. Second, I genuinely cannot believe his ex somehow turned helping their daughter into something inappropriate. That part is honestly insane to me. Should he have shouted? Maybe not, especially with the kids nearby. But after everything she said, after years of apparently neglecting those kids, right? I completely understand why he snapped. Also, the fact that his oldest daughter immediately defended him? Yeah, that tells me everything I need to know about who's been showing up for those kids. Anyway, I'm definitely curious what you guys think about this one because I really don't think he was the villain here. Okay, and the last one is, am I the asshole for deleting my friend's wedding photos in front of them? All right, so this woman's actually a dog groomer by trade, but she's also kind of become the unofficial photographer for every dog she grooms, snapping pictures for Facebook and Instagram all day. That's her whole thing. Dogs. Not weddings, not people. Dogs. So a friend of hers gets married, and to save some money, he asks if she'll shoot the wedding. She's up front, tells him this isn't really her thing, but he brushes it off, says he doesn't need it perfect. They're on a tight budget. She agrees. For $250. For a 10-hour event, day of the wedding, she's there from 11 in the morning, driving around, following the bride to appointments, shooting the ceremony, then the reception, speeches, all of it. She's supposed to wrap around 7:30 at night. Around 5, food starts getting served. And she's told flat out she can't stop to eat. She's the photographer, not a guest. They didn't even save her a seat anywhere. On top of that, it's over 110 degrees. The venue's an old building with zero air conditioning, and her water bottles have been empty for a while. No food, no water, no AC, 10-hour shift for $250. Yeah, no, absolutely not. She goes to the groom, asks for 20 minutes just to grab something to eat and drink. There's no open bar, nothing available to her at all at this point, and he tells her straight up, either keep shooting or leave without getting paid. Wait, sorry, what? That's insane. I'm trying not to interrupt too much, but but this is actually making me mad. But okay, let's get back to it. She asks if he's sure. He says yes. So, right in front of him, she deletes every single photo she's taken all day, tells him she's not his photographer anymore, and walks out. She says at that point she'd have paid the $250 herself just for a cold glass of water and 5 minutes to sit down. The couple left for their honeymoon right after, went completely quiet on social media, and apparently people have been commenting on their page asking where the wedding photos are. No response from either of them. Okay. I have thoughts here. First of all, if someone is helping you for basically no money, maybe don't treat them like a machine. I understand weddings are stressful. I understand wanting everything to go perfectly, but not letting someone stop for 20 minutes, not letting them eat, not even letting them drink water. I really can't blame them for snapping. Deleting the photos? Okay, maybe that part was a little extreme, but honestly, I completely understand why they did it. So, quick recap on the sprite hunt. I managed to extract the 0.1 safely, then got the boss variant, and even grabbed the gold striker, but yeah, eliminated before extracting it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for sticking around through all my yapping today. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing for more. See you in the next one.